Have you heard the story of the man who was traveling through Ireland, and he stopped in a little village and he asked directions of a man? He said, "How do I get to Dublin?" And the man says, "You can't get to Dublin from here." I think of it because we've been on a journey, all of us, since early December. We gather every Sunday morning to keep going on that journey. And the journey, of course, is taking us from the beginning of the people of God and the expectation of Christ, the Messiah, and then all through the life of Jesus up to his death, resurrection, ascension, and the sending of the Spirit, which in a sense is the end of the journey. The life of Jesus is never going to be repeated. It's over. God among us in the person of Jesus of Nazareth, walking the roads of Galilee and talking to people, sending out 70 disciples like he did today, is not going to happen again. So we're at the point now where we finish the historical events of the life of Jesus, but now we're entering into this later journey, a journey which is not the life of Jesus, but the life of Christ. Christ's journey in the world is continuing, as it did even in his own day when he sent out 70 disciples to keep the message alive and to announce that the kingdom of God has come among you. And of course, we're part of that whole new episode in the history of the life of Christ, a history of God's presence in the world in the life of Christ. I live now, Paul says, but Christ lives in me. And of course, any Christian can say that and should say that. Christ is living in us. We are the descendants or the successors of those 70 people that Jesus sent out to keep his presence alive in the world and the message of God's love for us alive in the world. So the story is not over, and we can get to our destination from here, unlike the man looking for the road to Dublin. We can get to the end of the story because we're carrying the rest of the story into the future and bringing with us, hopefully, all of the people that come into our lives. Christ is the good news of God, but we are the presence of Christ in the world today. And so if the message is to reach its conclusion, which it will, even if we refuse to take part in it or keep a distance from the reality of Christ living with us, it's going to be fulfilled. The journey will end someday when Christ comes again. But in the meantime, we are part of the journey. In a sense, we are the journey back to the Father who loved us enough to become one of us.